We are live from Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky for this, the headliner event, the 2024 Laurel Awards. But first, in keeping with this year's Kentucky Derby theme, a horse race. Back for the first year in a row, I'm your announcer, Joey Quine. But first, a word from our sponsor. Introducing FCT's Bathroom Bank. In order to shorten lengthy intermissions during our performance, each ticket holder will receive 5 minutes deposited into their bathroom bank for that day's performance. When 1 minute is left in your bathroom bank, a warning signal will sound in your stall. When your time is up, a siren will sound, the stall door will fly open, and the toilet will slide forward on our patented toilet track, and you'll be catapulted into the lobby. Bathroom Bank from FCT. Okay, they're in the gate. And they're off! 26 Pebbles onto a quick start on the inside, and Christmas Schooner on the far outside, braking sharply. Tuna Does Vegas looks to be a sure bet coming up the middle. 42nd Street mistakenly lined up on 42nd Street, but appears to be making a spirited move to rejoin the pack as we re-enter the backstretch. And now down the backstretch they come. It's neck and neck, and here comes 42nd Street, 41st Street, 40th Street, 39th, 5, 4, 3. Look at him go! Wait, is he tap dancing? Well, that's irregular, but really cool. But it's still Tuna Does Vegas on the inside. Is that a man or woman in the saddle? Who knows? Schooner's running full sail in second and paddling hard. 26 Pebbles is apparently drafting behind the boat. A very smart strategy, and is now making their move along the rail. 3 furlongs to go. Speaking of furlong, is that a greyhound pacing the pack? It is! Final stretch now. All 4 horses are running neck and neck. Christmas Schooner assisted by the figurehead at the bow. And the crowd goes mild. It's a photo finish. The judges confer, and photo finish. And all 4 shows are declared co-winners for the 2023-24 FCT Derby. Congrats to everyone.
Jeff and I have been interested in bringing this show to FCT for a very long time, since I saw him do it in 2008 at BSA. It's a really great story centered around family and the holidays, the joy of helping others, and with tragedy balanced with an uplifting ending. Jeff first introduced it to Play Reading Committee about 10 years ago, but it didn't make the cut. And then his playbook got misplaced for a couple of years. And when the theater needed to find a replacement Christmas show this season, and all other options were exhausted, we were ready to step up. Man up.
It was the ultimate dark horse, no pun intended. It had been 15 years since we did the show in Bellevue, and most of that cast was no longer in the area or doing theater. A truly unknown show, and we initially struggled to cast it. Only 5 showed up for auditions, and a couple of them ended up not being able to be in the show. By the end of auditions, we only had 1 of 5 lead roles filled.
We contacted everyone we could think of, starting with people currently involved at FCT, then people at other theaters, then friends of friends, and basically anybody we knew. Though through a person here and there, word of mouth got out, and we cobbled together a great cast.
The music's great. Several said that it was the music that pulled them in and why they stayed. We also had an amazing keyboard artist, a music director who knew the show inside and out from 2 previous productions, and a director leader who didn't give up easily. We kept adding people in the early weeks as cast members found other cast members, spouses brought spouses. We ended up with a great cast, hardworking, strong leads, and a wonderful chorus. It's truly what makes community theater so great and what makes every show special in its own way. Beyond all odds, a couple dozen people from all walks of life with different talents and experiences came together to create a story and leave behind some great memories. This show will always be a part of me, and I thank everyone who played a part in it.
First, I want to give some big thank yous and shout outs. I want to thank all my marvelous stage crew, Zoe, Autumn, Xavier, and Sam. They wrangled that 20-foot long boat, steered it in the dark right to the very edge of the pit, but never ran aground into the pit. They found space backstage somehow for all the numerous set pieces, plus 25 cast members, and prepped the food each night, along with all the other challenges that come from a large cast musical, and I'm so grateful for their hard work and dedication. Randy and Tracy, I want to thank you for setting all the lights and programming them while I was at work, and I want to thank Allie Schmidt for her first time running lights, and she did excellent at execution. I want to thank Sue Stotts, who did a great job of doing period costuming from the 1890s. They looked great, and they really set the stage for the scenes. And I want to thank Hondo for helping me with projections that matched what I was envisioning and for running all those mic systems. I want to thank Floyd for making my graphics look so good. When I would describe it to him, he somehow knew what I was describing, and they looked great. Next thank you goes to Ship Construction Crew. Ship Construction Crew. Randy, Eric, Jeff, Sam, Sarah, Tim, PJ, Solomon, Phil, and Steve Strasbaugh. I enjoyed our Build-A-Boat workshops every Saturday, and I thought the boat looked fantastic. Thank you to PJ, who's behind the camera, by the way, for his excellent job at painting the boat. And it was so fun problem solving on Saturdays with all you guys. I also want to thank Henry Pavolny for joining our cast. When I begged him to come lend his voice to our chorus, we were short on tenors, and he came through for us.
One of the neat things about this show, sorry about that, from a musical standpoint, is that every cast member was featured at least once. The vocal lines are intricate, sometimes with up to 6 to 8 separate melodies at once, all dovetailing in and out. It took a lot of confidence from each singer and independent rhythmic skills to pull it off and to make sure that each part was heard. They had to be match their volumes as well. Nearly half of the music in the show was carried by the chorus of townspeople and storytellers, including Darla Brown, Sarah Stamm, Anita Kupka, Lila Wolf, Ainsley Potter, Cheryl Bolton, Tim Bolton, Eva Crivens, Melissa Damschroeder, Hillary Frater, Cyan McHale, Silas McHale, Hank Pavolny, and Garrison Strasbaugh. But really what made the show click was that we had this amazing chorus.
Every night, the Hungry Peasants performance gave me goosebumps, and the harmonies were so amazing. We want to thank Solomon for doing a great job with the role of Old Carl, as I called him, and especially for picking up the baton when Tim was out ill and had to miss the final 2 performances. Solomon, with literally 1 hour notice, learned the lines, covered the harmonies, and by the way, he does the best Tim Bolton impersonation that you'll ever see. He's very observant. He had all the mannerisms, the vocal tone, everything. Next time you see him, ask him to do his Tim Bolton for you. It's fantastic.
Right. If you close your eyes while he was singing or speaking Tim's part, it sounded just like Tim.
Did.
Dennis Pita. The piano book for this show wasn't the typical piano accompaniment. It was a work of music in and of itself, very challenging. Could have stood by itself and been performed separately as a concert piece. Few pianists in our area could have played this, and even fewer could have done so well. And Dennis really was truly the engine that made the show go.
In fact, for one of the performances, he already had another gig scheduled and had to miss the first 10 minutes of one of the shows. So we pre-recorded the music ahead of time, and then we just played that until he arrived. The cast was very nervous with him not being there. And when word got backstage that he had arrived, they breathed a sigh of relief and then passed the word that the Eagle had landed. All right, now for the actual awards. It's up to you there at the Laurels how you want to proceed. You can pause the video after we call each name and allow folks time to come up and get their award, or you can just have us go through the whole video and then hand out the awards at the end. It's totally up to you guys. All right, so first, Zoe, Autumn, and Xavian are getting a bowler because when I asked them to do stage crew, I told them that there wouldn't be much to do except just spin the turntable between scenes. But then we wound up not being able to fit a turntable on our stage, and then this ended up being the most ungodly, difficult, set change heavy show you could possibly imagine, and they took it and ran with it and did not complain. They got organized, they created an assignment list of what cast member was going to move which set piece, and they handled it with aplomb. So thank you and enjoy your bowler.
The sailors played a huge role in putting human face in the backbreaking work of bringing the holidays hundreds of miles away to so many. The show is chock full of emotion, love and family, as well as loss. So the sailors provided necessary comic relief to balance out the opposite end, I guess you could say, of the emotional spectrum. They made their characters live, and I couldn't wait to get to the theater each night to see them do their thing. So an old theater joke, if someone tells you that you're not going to have to dance or sing a solo, it means you're absolutely going to have to do both of those things. Definitely the case here. We spent 2 months pushing these veteran performers out of their comfort zone, and of course they did a stellar job, never complained. You're a baritone? Okay, now you're a tenor. You haven't had a singing role in 15 years? Cool. And by the way, that's a very believable singer sailing voice. They did great, often while singing 4-part harmony, almost always on purpose. Instead of the traditional 4-part male quartet with first and second tenor, baritone, and bass, we have the nautical version, first and second tuna, barracuda, and bass. They sang for the halibut.
Hearties are going out to our 4 sailors who embodied the comedy, tragedy, mass, and just made the show work. Phil is getting a hearty for being such a positive spirit at every rehearsal and being so blasted funny. Randy is getting a hearty for letting me make him sing out in front of everyone. Bob is getting a hearty for coming back to FCT to do this show when I called him to try to get him back on stage. Tim for singing everyone's part, and to all of them for doing a kick line and a lift. Now for laurels in no particular order. With such a large cast, I found it challenging to narrow down who was going to get a laurel, and I wish I could give an award to everyone, but unfortunately I could not. So my first laurel goes to Gavin. This kid never missed rehearsal, dyed his hair black without complaint, almost immediately learned all of his lines and everyone else's, and was kind beyond measure, took direction like a champ, even when I continually changed his blocking, and he brought cookies.
Came early every time, too.
He did. My next laurel goes to my husband, Jeff, for his excellent and tireless work on the music. He spent many, many hours rewriting music for the different ranges, making recordings of every part of every song for the cast to have to practice, yes, even including soprano. And his expertise was absolutely crucial in making the cast sound amazing. My next laurel goes to Sarah Stom for her help in all areas. She kept me sane and did so much that I simply didn't have time to do myself, and I just simply enjoyed working with her. Next laurel goes to Amanda Fox for being an amazing Alma. Her acting, and singing were outstanding, and her commitment to the show never wavered. She was always at rehearsal, and she worked on her part with heart. And finally, I would like to give Eric Crimmins a laurel for being the best damn Gus I could have ever hoped for learning all that German, and for owning about 20 Christmas trees. So that's it for the Jeff and Laura show tonight. You guys have a great rest of your laurels, and
See you soon.
see ya.
Look at this mess.